Alright, what's good, y'all? Welcome to this video. In this video, we're gonna break down one of the loops that we did in the RohXO pack. So it's called RhodesXO, and it sounds like this. Yeah, so as you hear, like fire ass loop, you know. If you want to check out the other loops, it's a full pack. There's a bunch of different vibes in here, you know. You can flip it into a lot of dope shit, so make sure to go check that. Alright, so the starter that I sent to Rose sounded like this. Alright, so I started with a simple piano, and it sounds like this. And all it is a A minor 7 and a D minor 7. So this is an inversion right here. So you got A, C, E, G, and then D, F, A, C, C. As you notice, like the top line is the same, which kind of blends the chords. And that's a good advice to give. Like if you have the top line kind of the same, then it really blends the chords. And since the chords are changing, it doesn't get repetitive. And yeah, if you're not playing on the piano, make sure to change the velocities and the timing, you know. You can just go in with a shift and your scroll wheel and like change these a bit to make sure that yeah, it's not all on the grid, you know. Alright, after that I added this top line. So again, I just played this on the keyboard, but you know, I recommend just having a MIDI around. You don't need to be a piano genius to make some top lines. But if you don't have a MIDI, or you prefer clicking it in, you can use these kind of little notes, you know, kind of having notes like this. You know, that really sounds like kind of what a piano player would do, having like little notes going into it. Like stuff like this, you know. Also this right here, you know. You're not actually playing this note to play the note of it. You're more playing it to accent the next one, you know. You know, like that. So yeah, make sure you have a bunch of those in there. Again, change the velocity if you're clicking it in. And yeah, the reason why I put it on a different layer is because then you can still change it a bit and take it out as well more easily. So yeah. And then lastly, I had this vocal. Just to give it some extra feel, you know. And yeah, that's it. Now over to Ro, who's gonna show you how we turn this into the masterpiece, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fire.
Alright, so Botz to the start right there. I'm gonna get into the rest of the loop. This is one of my favorite loops I've ever worked on. So Sleep to Botz for that part start is one of my favorite kids. I've already said that. To this day, that's the point still stands. So yeah, go check it out. RhodesXO. I'm gonna link it in the bio. But before we get into the beat, I want to talk a little bit about Waves. Now, Waves is a site used to upload loops, samples, stems, things of that sort. So as you can see, it's got like a pretty robust user base right here. So if I just click on any of these, you can see a preview of the kit. You can see like legends like Coop the Truth in here, No Fuck in here. So if I can just click this, you can get like a nice little preview. So I ain't gonna play too much of that, but like we go into the pack right here, and as you can see, you can just get your credits by signing up and simply just hit download, and you can have any of these in your desktop to use, and you can just go crazy on a Hoop the Truth loop or anything. It's really simple, it's got a great UI, I highly recommend it. I upload here myself if you try and check it out. I'm gonna have my link down below, and you can get a discount off that too, so check that out. I'm gonna have that down below. Yeah, I'm gonna just break it down one by one. First thing I did was turn the BPM up to we're at 174 now from like the 150 range that he was on previously. I had that song Where the Love At by me and Youngboy in mind when I made this. Like I wanted to make a sample sort of like that. First thing we got is the piano. So aside from, you know, just speeding up everything, I did pitch it up 5 semitones, so we're in D minor right here, everything's in D minor. So yeah, I just used his MIDI right here for the chords. Here's what it sounds like on my piano, which is the grand piano from Keyscape, just like a simple Get piano. But yeah, here's what it sounds like. Yeah, and for effects on that, nothing too crazy, just this reverb right here, just like a pretty default reverb. Got this RC20 pretty much playing throughout. It's on the Vinyl 2 preset, so yeah, pretty much just use that to make everything sound more vintage. Yeah, last thing is this little EQ right here, just cutting out the lows because I had that little bass later, feel me? But yeah. Next up are these drums from Addictive Drums right here, and the plugin isn't working, so I'm just gonna play the WAV file, but here's the pattern I pretty much have right here. I highly recommend Addictive Drums if you're trying to make some sort of live drums, you know, whether it's for a beat or for like a sample in the sort of background like I did. This is the preset I use, Session Percussion right here, and the Rhythm preset. And yeah, here's what it sounds like. Yeah, pretty simple right there. This basic hi-hat groove going with these alternating velocities right here. We're going to randomize everything. You pretty much want to randomize everything in these sort of realistic samples just to make everything sound real, obviously, which I've done here pretty much. You can also move notes around, hitting Alt and doing that, but I didn't opt to do that here, but you can do that if you want to. Got this basic hi-hat groove right here, and then the rim, playing this little bounce sort of pattern. Really simple, but like effective. Got these few open hats right there, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that. What I did also do was add a little bit of swing by going to this wrench tool right here, which should be available in every instance you open, every instance of a VST you open in FL Studio. Simply going to the shift tool right here, and I moved it like a little bit, just to add like a little bit of swing to it, you feel me? Add a little bit of realness. But for effects on it, just some reverb right here, pretty simple, and the same RC20. Cutting out some lows too right here, as you can see at 350. Next up we got the bass right here. This is just ample bass, just a great bass in my opinion, just very simple, very good. And yeah, since it's like a really groovy sort of pattern, I don't want it like overcrowded with the bass, you feel me? So just like a few notes here and there. I got these staccato notes, which just add more to the bounce to it, because you know, silence is important too, as well as, you know, filling out the note. But here's what it sounds like right here. Yeah, pretty simple pattern. Remember to randomize those velocities, you know, obviously I've already said that. For effects, I just got that same RC20 right here. I did add a little bit more of the bass, I think, just because, yeah, it's a bass guitar, you gotta hear that bass a little bit. Next up, we got some strings right here. This is Session Strings Contact. I got the slide slowed down, and it's that vintage sound. If you ever heard a vintage sample, you've probably heard this. You know, either sliding up or down, and it's just like classic. And I just got a little accent right here. Here's what it sounds like. Yeah, pretty much just that. Very simple. Just plays at the 1. You feel me? For effects on that, just some reverb, some delay, and some RC20 right there. And yeah, just fuck around with that. It's pretty like signature for these old sort of samples. Next up, I have the Topline. This is just the Topline Botz made. I dragged in the MIDI right here. I did decide to take out the second hop that he made. I just like that first hop a lot. And, you know, I opted to just pitch it up instead right here, which is what I've done. And for the preset, it's the Maverick, and I've used the Dirty Old Grind right here, which is just like a good preset for vintage samples. It's good for like any hard piano too, like Memphis beats or anything like that. But here's what it sounds like. Yeah, you know, just great top line right there. For effects on that, like some reverb right here, a little bit of pancake, just differentiated from the other piano. RC20, same preset. And yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the beat right here, the Rhodes. I think this adds a lot to the balance of the beat overall. It's just the classic Rhodes from Keyscape. Here's what it sounds like. Yeah, just that pretty much. Really simple. It's just like that, like a little beep. It adds so much to like the accent of the sound itself. I just like the whole sample. I just love it. Got the little run right here. It just sounds really like jazzy and cool. You feel me? Sounds good in like these sort of jazzy settings. You feel me? Like soul settings. You know, sounds good. I got this little run at the end just to sort of transition into the D again. Just mess around with these velocities a little bit, just to have it like sort of crescendo upwards. For effects on that, just some basic reverb, same RC20. Did have some suits too. I'm not abusing suits too like I usually do, but needed some for the Rhodes. I usually have it on my Rhodes just because there's like a lot of high end if you're playing it high, a lot of low end if you're playing it low. Just to like sort of mellow out those resonances, you feel me? Nothing crazy, just not like the default settings, some less spikes, more size. Next thing is this guitar right here. It's AGLP. Really good electric guitar. Very realistic. On the Don't Cry preset right here. What I did do was put it on the palm mute setting actually, so you can just tap this right here. You just click this right here if you want to play palm muted notes. And yeah, it just comes out sort of staccato and more bouncy. It just worked better for this. So here's what it sounds like. So yeah, it really just plays in little pockets here and there. It's pretty sparse. I think it adds a lot to the sample though. It's one of my favorite parts, I think, again. You know, so for effects on that, some reverb, some RC20. And yeah, of course, just always randomize those velocities for everything, you know. Oh, some additional effects on that. I do have a pancake alternating in direction. It's just in the half preset, so it's going like pretty fast, like it's panning pretty fast. Just because it doesn't play too much, so might as well have it panning fast, and like a little bit of soothe right there. I recorded it and I just moved it back just because there's some latency when you use ampli guitar. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's still worth using, I'd say. Next thing is this vocal, so it's the vocal that Botz sent me. Couldn't really find too much space for it. I like the other stuff, I really did, like a lot. So I did actually throw it in the end here. But I will say, you know, for stars, don't be afraid to like delete certain things that people send you. You know, they want your input at the end of the day. So, you know, like sometimes removing something is the best way for the sample, like the best way forward. You feel me? So, what it's doing here, it's just kind of like a end of bar transition sort of thing right here. So here's what it is. Just that, you know, pretty simple. For effects on it, just some reverb and some RC20. Yeah, just like a little accent right there at the end. Yeah, I just kept this one kind of simple actually for how much I like it. Nothing too crazy, you know, it's even on the effects. Kept it simple, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out Old Soul. This is still my favorite kid I put out to this day. Check out Loopside Records, obviously, fuck with us. Check out my Waves affiliate link down in the bio and down in the description, and yeah, stay looped in, gang. Peace out.